Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
I don't know if you want to give a little bit emphasis on this, Ms. Carter.
Oh,
I just heard it.
I know. I got it. When you put it on up there, I got this.
And then we're right. We have a short video.
Yes.
Ready, everybody? Here we go.
You're on a flight.
Yeah.
Beverage service starts.
Yeah.
Tell us what happens.
I'm in the aisle. My oldest son is right next to me in the middle seat. My youngest son is in the window seat. And my wife and daughter across the aisle in one row back. Mm-hmm. And so it's a typical flight, nothing out of the ordinary. So he asked me my order. I give him my order. Again, kind of slams the drink down. And again, I'm thinking, well, what is going on with this guy? And my son says, excuse me, might I have some ice? And he obviously didn't hear my son ask for ice. So he moved the cart probably past my seat. And so my hand was up like, excuse me. And then I finally said, excuse me, can I get some ice? I just tapped him on the shoulder. He swings his arm back and said, don't hit me. Yeah. He comes back. He puts the cup of ice on my son's tray. He then takes the cart and takes it back up to first class. And my head is down, and I can hear like the walkie-talkies. I hear a lot of the gear and wrestling of like you can hear when they come on. When they walk up to me, and the guy he whispers in my ear. He says, "Don't fight it," and he puts cuffs on me
while he's still
while I'm sitting down.
With everybody still on the plane.
Everybody's on the plane.
Wow.
Well, I do want to have a conversation about this, but I want to say the reason why I chose this particular story. I was actually on the plane flying this week, and a situation happened in first class. The airline stewardess was pretty rude. I mean, just pretty rude from the moment that you got on the plane. Mm-hmm. The very first thing, and it was I got on the plane, and I was putting my luggage up at the top. Mm-hmm. The stewardess comes over to me and she says to me, what is your seat? Mm-hmm. Where is your seat? What number is your seat? And I just kept ignoring it because I had a carry-on that was pretty heavy. I was putting it up. Mm-hmm. And she said, ma'am, can you stop putting your bags up there and answer my question? And I said to her, my name is Miss Carter. You can look on your thing. So she said, I'm asking you, what's your seat number? So I didn't say anything. I was not going to engage. Mm-hmm. And so then I put it up, and then I'm actually sitting. My seat was right up under there. So then as I sit down, she says, I asked you, what's your seat? Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm sitting in it. And she said, can you step out for a second? So I move over, I get up and I move over to where the little galley is. And I said, yes, how can I help you? She said, well, when you're asked, what's your seat number, you need to give that information. I said, well, I didn't notice you asking anybody else. Mm-hmm. And so I said, but what I'm not going to do is engage in this with you. Mm-hmm. I've given you my name. If you have any questions, I actually checked in and came onto the flight. If you have any questions, any other questions.
Knowing you was the first one on the plane anyway.
Yeah, well, I was really? Close to it. But anyway, and right after then, I sit down. And then the gentleman another gentleman came in, and his seat was at the window. Mm-hmm. And so she comes over to me again, and I see him. And typically what you do when someone's coming, you just get up and you let them get to their seat. Right. I was on the aisle. She comes over and she said, again, this is why I wanted to know what your seat was. And I'm still ignoring her. Right. And she says, the reason I'm asking you what your seat was, because I think it's this gentleman's seat that you're sitting in. And he said, no, ma'am, I have the window seat. Mm-hmm. And she began to engage with him while ignoring. I'm like, yeah. So then when I'm sitting there and I see this Terrell story, it brought it home for me. So, we do a lot. It's a lot of racial profiling going on. It's a lot of ignorance. It's just a lot of, I want to call it just pure hatred. Yeah.
How did that make you feel when that happened to you?
Well, initially, it made me want to go there with her. But I thought about all I'm doing is bringing myself down to her her level. Right. And after I sat there and I thought about it, I thought about it. I'm like, God, she has to be one miserable person. Her life has to be horrible because she doesn't know me. And she just really wanted to put her venom on me. And a lot of times I want us to really think about when we're in situations like that, that we don't give power to it. We don't react to it.
Give grace.
Give grace and let God do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But back to the Terrell story. I could only imagine this happening to my husband.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're getting ready to go enjoy our vacation here shortly. And
with his family.
And with his family. And then think about his children and his wife, how embarrassing.
Having to see that.
Yes. And Lawrence, did you see this story on him? What was your thought when you saw
I'm
it?
just seeing this right here.
Yeah.
I heard of it, but I never seen. I didn't know he was handcuffed right there in the seat. Right there. I don't know enough about the situation to have real dialogue about it. I don't know exactly what happened with him, why they put the handcuffs on.
I can give it because what happens is that the stewardess and the crew can call and say that there is an issue and they're going to come on. So there was an investigation that was done and they were found out there. Of course, the officers apologized to Terrell and his family.
He ought to have name recognition.
Yeah.
The NFL.
But people forget. People don't really assimilate, and especially when they're in that energy.
Right.
They don't know. They don't know who they're talking to.
They
They
don't
really
care.
just.
That's just
It's
who
like
they are.
they sound like they're fed up. So they're just gonna go off and within, how they're feeling and judge and like just try to have a power grab.
Yes.
Because that's how
And
bad
this
they
could have
feel.
been an individual trying to provoke him so that he can get a lawsuit against him also.
That too.
And then, they reached out, and this was on the United flight, I believe. And the airline still hadn't reached back out to him. But they reached out to his attorney to apologize. And but his position was they didn't think about his family, him. It was more about all he was doing. He didn't hurt that. He's just trying to get his attention.
He sounds like a formal person. I don't think.
Yeah.
Hit him. Don't hit me. What?
Don't hit me. He was really seeking. And I'm sure with that, he had that energy, but I think he also probably was trying to get something out of the deal.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it turned around.
It turned around on him. Yes. So that was my thought on that. Any feedback on that, guys? Put it in the comments.
We have some comments.
Don't let other people ignorance make you ignorant.
There you go.
Yeah, Stephen Robar on YouTube also said, we give grace. It reminds me of when I was around the building and then I went to the 4th floor.
Yes.
Where I was received with, a little yell and no soliciting. I'm like, first of all, I'm not soliciting.
Right.
And that's why I put my foot through the door so I could give her my grace.
That's not crazy.
That was your grace.
Yeah.
All righty.
That can be perceived as a threat. So put your foot in the door.
Well, she was putting her foot in the door so she could still continue to smile at her.
And then smile like this. And say, well, I'm not here to solicit.
I'm just here to give you a blessing.